lot of pressure on this either. I mean, obviously you're expecting IGZIST to win this, and therefore they're the favored team, but it's not a position where if they do lose this, that suddenly they're out of the group stage, or like more or less don't make the knockout stage. That won't be the case. And it's not like they have a guaranteed position in the semi-final. If they win this, they'll go to 7 points. Of course, Varel and Cyclops will play later this evening. If Varel win that, like regardless of this result, they will take that top spot. They will go to the semi-final position. As we get underway on Chalet, though, Dockerby going to be banned out by Fnatic, and Nomad straight away off the board, which should make some flanks a lot easier. And then the Mirror, one more ban to go. And as always, guys, this is the easiest one because you can basically just say Azami or Valkyrie, and you're probably right.
Valkyrie.
Azami.
Yes. That's a
Well,
W.
50-50.
1-0.
That was a 50-50.
1-0 in the first minute from Guz. It's an absolute banger in the bottom left. Matic Monday just completely stuffing up the save.
So, as we head into this one, IGZIST on the attack first, and I did have a quick little glance. We've only played Chalet once. It was slightly attack favored, but I think that probably summarize that down to the teams that we're playing, and the sample size is way too small to even warrant even talking about it. What I will say, though, of course, for the Japan region, a lot of the times what we've seen, by 50-50, but the trend is probably leaning towards the favor slightly more now, I think, to the attack for a map like Chalet, because we're seeing maps like Clubhouse now start to lean a little bit more to the defender. So a little bit more of the norm. IGZIST starting on the attack, we will be expecting them to do well in this first half.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly just one of those games where we just take it around at a time, much like the players, right? We just got to feel for this one and how it will play out. If Fnatic come out of the gate strong, then we can anticipate this to be a relatively competitive match, but I think it may only take a couple of rounds of IGZIST rolling them, if that ends up happening, to sort of know where this one's going to lean. We'll just see how it goes. It is, of course, Dining first up here from Fnatic on the defense. A trap-heavy lineup. Frost and Legion both in play. Now enabled on the roam with the Oryx, and with Azami sneaking through the ban phase, it's no surprise that we will see her picked on pretty much every side. There's not really a world in which you're not picking Azami these days.
Yeah, and a lot of our discussion as well was sort of centered around how is this going to be played? Is Fnatic going to get to sort of employ a little bit of a roam? You know, that sort of run and gun. Obviously, they're defending first, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be stagnant. You have to basically just kind of sit around site. Library, or at least library stairs being cleared with the drone, but Ruin is there. More Fnatic on Legion. V-Bort now over towards Mud. Nice little early entry. Gumine does get placed over toward said library stairs. So a bit of a game's early entry, library side push here. Dining, of course, they're going to be extended above here, Fnatic, but this is quite aggressive. 3 players kind of stacked up library, at least in the corridor section over towards the mezzanine as well. It's a very sort of early contact fight, and Lily loses the Sifty. And if you're going to play this early contact, it's so important to win it. Otherwise, you just leave a gaping hole for the attacking team to just walk through. Big kill back for Maui, but Ruin loses as well. Fnatic really wanted to get aggressive here early on the defense of Chalet, but it does backfire.
Yeah, losing that trade game early. And Azami falling early on in the round. We've seen it time and time again here in Stage 1. It's critical that the Azami is alive to maximize her effectiveness. For IGZIST, though, now it's just about settling. A decent amount of drones remain so that they can scout out this top floor and clear it. Open up the potential for Vert with breaching charges from the Zofia and the Ashe. Even with Sledge down, that won't be too much more of an issue, and Fnatic will now slowly but surely fall back. So this is the right play. Mao and Mag, they'll both depart. The top floor now opened up for the attack, and it's all about denying long angles for the defense. Setting up for the push, and yeah, IGZIST will take this very quickly. Oh, there is a play inside of Trophy. Sneaky position, but surely the Vert will eventually expose it. Give it about 3 seconds, and that players are going to be under a lot of pressure.
1, 2, 3. Hasn't happened yet.
I didn't watch it.
30 seconds remaining. Obviously, full top clear now from IGZIST has been established well. Making the push down. Trophy stairs. Marvi has diffuser. Like eventually losing his life over towards Trophy. I think there was a player over towards West Main Stairs as well. Marvi straight in behind the chassis. Malway finds the kill into Salty. No ping, no information. Plant should be successful from Marvi. He has been spotted. Holds the right side, though, of the kitchen counter. Versus 2. Maui is low on the Oryx. A little bit lower as well because of that. Number 2 finds the kill onto Marvi. Certainly now winnable for Fnatic here. This would be a really crucial start. Rayra up above, has eyes on the diffuser, gets shot from Trophy Stairs. Number 2 makes the push and does it so well with Maui as well. They both went together. Both went to clear, and Fnatic will get the opening round.
Yeah, great work there from Fnatic. A confident retake. They were never really going to be able to hold on to site itself, but then finding a couple of decisive picks once the diffuser was confirmed. Ultimately, Rera was trying to then watch it from the vert. That's the right play in that instance, but then just exposed a little bit to Solar. Probably lacked some information there. Likely not a drone in that position. And then just the double swing there from Fnatic. A pretty sketchy round for the defense to kick things off, but the scoreboard doesn't lie. They establish an early lead and they'll go to basement straight away.
And really well played. I know obviously Maui's got 4 of the 5 kills, guys, but it was really the start of the round that impressed me. Straight away, they're on the front foot. Straight away, they're making it difficult to get into Library, to get control of Library Stairs for that kind of push. And basically, as Fnatic were aggressive there, then they kind of fell back. A little pressure office, then bedroom, then solar, then downstairs. So they were basically forcing IGZIST to continue to clear, continue to clear. By the time they got full top floor cleared, 45 seconds was on the clock. At that point, you're kind of running out of time to really do a whole lot with that advantage of having top cleared. So really well played from Fnatic. And straight away as well, once that plan went down for Marvi, Fnatic were on the front foot again to go and deal with that, clear above, get the defuse. It was really, really well played. So impressed to start with from Fnatic. 1 round on the board. We head to Snow Wine. Interesting that our games does get skipped here. And now this is an interesting operator lineup composition. Amaru, the Glaz, the Blitz.
I don't mind it. It's a little bit less static in comparison to playing the Ossa in exchange for the Blitz, because the Blitz can go deep, cause problems. Or smokes. Glaz can play cover, and you can immediately pressure the plant. So we'll see how Fnatic respond. There is pressure up above, and then installed out. Oh, the Blitz isolated on that initial push. It's a 4 versus 4, so an okay trade. The Amaru went up through the window, but now a 3v3. And the attack stalled out. Fnatic not exposing to breach, playing it well.
It was smart here from Lily, just playing the shelf, not wanting to expose, as he said. 3 versus 3, 2 minutes, but you already have lost your sort of entry conditions, right? Blitz, gone. Amaru, gone. And now all you're left with is the Thatcher, the Thermite, and the Glaz. Big kill for Rayra on said Glaz. Now brings it back to a 3 versus 2. No more gas canisters either for number 2. They've gone really early. So utility is basically expended now for Fnatic on the defense. IGZIST bringing it back because of that kill from Rayra. And now they can basically play the clock as well, guys. There's 90 seconds left in this round. So they can start to roam around site, or at least, sorry, above site. Really put pressure on from a vert position as well. Another smoke deployed. That was the final one from Marvi. Shifty bot Library Stairs, looking in over towards that blue hallway corridor. Rayra very, very nice here with the push in with the Glaz. Nothing Ruin could do about that one. Number 2 now in 1 versus 3. Early contact here. Decent tag. Does get the headshot, but as soon as this plant is down, don't imagine a world in which number 2 can win this round. Virtually impossible now.
Needs to isolate the pick outside breach. Flank potential through blue, through wine. Number 2 with no information on site. Pulled out by the Vulcan canister as well, just to increase that difficulty factor, and it's a double cross outside breach. He'll swing the first, get shot by the second. Well played there by the attack. It looked like it was going to fail. The Blitz, the Amaru, they both fall early, but they recover the round. They find an advantage where there shouldn't have been one. So well played by the attack.
What do you make of that round, though? That's an intriguing one, because obviously for IGZIST, it's an intriguing operator lineup that could be quite risky, especially when the initial push did not really work. I think Fnatic would have been pretty content with the game being 3v3, I should say, with the Amara and the Blitz off the board. Ultimately, it comes down to Rainbow hitting a big shot on the glass, and then that really separates things. But I think Fnatic actually found themselves in a decent position midway through that round.
I think even at the start, right? The two entry conditions were both nullified. I mean, they did have an impact because they were traded out. You know, 3v3, it looks okay. And unfortunately, it's just that Glaz just plucks one out of nowhere, really. You have the advantage. Kill smoke's available. Glaz can sneak forward, find yet another. It's very hard to then counter that forward progression. Just like that, it's a 1 versus 2. I mean, well, 1 versus 3, really. SMG plus 1, you know, 1v2 in the post, double cross outside, yeah. It's a rough one for Fnatic because I would largely agree. I think they played it quite well. It's just that one pick. It's that butterfly effect in Siege. One small thing, one small error, one good play from the opponent. It can be enough to lose a round that you should otherwise be winning. So we'll see how they look to recover. Upstairs we go. First time we'll see this site, so that's three unique sites in a row for Fnatic not wanting to re-attempt it down below. It's a library sweep by IGZIST.
Oh, is that a missed drone from Shifty? No, surely not.
Nope.
I get shot out, so number 2 will have to give up that prone position. But again, love the aggression here. Very risky kind of position too, right inside a library on a site like office bedroom where this is going to be a pretty standard practical entry point. What you kind of want to get out of this as well is maybe forcing a player like Shifty to use a Candela to get inside a library would be ideal if you're going to at least just get utility from this. There are a couple of drones, be a nuisance mainly. And then obviously you can always drop the hatch if need be, and then being the Oryx, you can always come back up. There's the Candela, finds the kill. Tell you what though, you'll always happily trade a Candela for a player. Number 2, completely blindsided. Nice entry there for IGZIST. The top library stairs as well, so I mean pretty decent control over towards library, but Ruin on the Malusi. Lurking down below, bot library stairs. Is there a way back into this round through Ruin for Fnatic?
Oh, he needs to have an impact before these players really flip this aggressively into a 5v3. All it takes is one more pick on towards side, and Ruin probably won't have the desired impact that he wants in this round. It's a double lurk low from Fnatic. Way too aggressive. 5v3 shut down, good info. You would expect there to be info on that for the most part, and Ruin really relying on catching IGZIST off guard. When 5 players are alive, sometimes drones do go to the back of the mind, but IGZIST very much aware of that flank. That's a cue for Mag to now support the 2 remaining defenders on site. Stealth, breach open, flashes out, and Marvi can begin to prep for a half-wall plan.
I was going to say, maybe Mag should have actually just committed to yet another flank there. Like, going for the half-wall plant was Marvi down, but ultimately the kills will be still happily in favor of IGZIST. Busts go out. That's a nice nut yourself from Mag. Does not reach intended target of a down to Marvi. Still, under control for Mag. Knows there's one at the hallway. As the sound cue has the information, 20 seconds left. Revive on the Marvi is going to be successful. This is a great angle from Mag, though. He can actually stop the plant. Finds the kill onto B-Ball. Plant still going down by Marvi. Player should swing Piano. That's going to be Shifty. Successfully done so. Now 1 versus 3 retake. Unfortunately for Lely, does not even see the light of day. And it's now 2 rounds in a row for IGZIST.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Mag. I can only assume that he didn't get the sound cue on the plant, right? Because if he hears that, he gets the first. If the plant's still going down, you would expect the second behind half wall. Can be difficult to sometimes hear that cue through all the chaos, especially that initial plant cue. A little bit unlucky there. Mag could have potentially isolated the second or back towards Piano, even if he was traded. Could have been winnable there for Fnatic, but ultimately it wasn't the players on site there that really are the ones to blame. The 2 off-site had no impact. IGZIST doing a great job in clearing. They now claim the lead in this game, and perhaps upon reflection, the first round for Fnatic that they were able to get across the line was a bit of a red flag. I said at the time that it wasn't the most convincing of rounds. It was that retake on this site in particular, where they allowed IGZIST to push their way in towards side and then were able to cut them down in the post. From that point onwards, IGZIST have pretty much played the same, with the caveat being that the post or the plan itself has been a lot better.
do you think they're playing it the right way at the moment, Fnatic? Right, being aggressive on the defense.
Yes. To an extent. I mean, I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, right? I like the fact that they're playing positive. I like the fact that they're playing aggressive. But you also have to be super cautious, right? If you don't have a Solace on the board, for instance, and you're on that defense and you're looking to lurk around, and now you know that IGZIST are quite clearly watching drones. We saw it on the cards, and we saw it in the way they were playing all those flanks, even with five attackers up. Then you need to be super conscious. You need to be careful, because there's very common pre-placed drones on this map that watch all the flanks that the defense are going to go for. So if you're Fnatic and you want to play like that, you need to be ultra careful in the way that you deal with that information.
A couple of rounds to go in this opening half, though. Fnatic already have one defensively on the board. They get a second one. They'll be potentially content with that. 2-4 half over the attackers. Really not that otherworldly for Chalet. You go back to what was successful for them as well, with kitchen dining, extension up above. But they do reel in that aggressiveness. Even last time they were here, had one mezzanine, one top library stairs, I think one in the corridor as well. B-Bot just makes a free push all the way up. Trying to deal with this electric floor, which has been droned down. Well, obviously, I think this office position really vulnerable now.
Main breach now opened up, so passage in towards site, halfway point for IGZIST. No advantage to speak of, though. It's a 5 versus 5. Sifty, bathroom balcony. So that's one cross being held. Retaking through bathroom will now be a challenge for the defense, and there's 2 players isolated over towards Solar. But there is a front line of defense headed really by Mag down on site itself, as they look to pressure now up above. 5v4, there's a Fear getting aggressive, but it's the Legion. Good for 2. Pardon me, the Oryx. I'll trade it out. So 50 seconds now remains, and control again up above for IGZIST. Fnatic, much like last time, happy to pull off, give this ground up, and they'll back themselves in, I think, to be a little bit better in denying entry into which side. And I was going to say play the post, but a post looking unlikely. It's a great nitro from Lily, and it leaves Rara and Sifty in what was a 4v2, but now perhaps, and with the Sophia looking hot in this round, a 3v2, I wouldn't count them out.
Still 2 gas canisters available for number 2. Mag with the Nitro Cell. So utility still in favor here for Fnatic, especially as we head closer towards red time. Rara and Shifty with the diffuser in hand. Rara takes out default. No real ping, no real information here. So Rara just gonna have to send it in blind. Lily does find a kill. It'll be a trade from Rara, but again, no time, no chance, no hit. And Fnatic will find their second round on kitchen dining. It has been their safe haven here on Chalet on the defense. It gets them 2 rounds and keeps them firmly in this game.
Yeah, and actually a very convincing round. They did a good job. A couple of favorable trades up above. And then Fnatic, the one thing that they were good on last time, and they did it once more, was they were disciplined. They identified the win condition. They fall off up above. They let IGZIST with the limited time they did have remaining to work. But they didn't expose themselves to those positions, so IGZIST didn't really find much. Obviously then forced to filter down through Trophy. They don't find a whole lot, and Fnatic able to lock out the round. And much like last time, straight away back down towards basement. And I'm looking at the response here from IGZIST, because again, I think Fnatic for the large portion of that round actually did play it quite well. They just fell to the Glaz, and that can happen from time to time. So will the attack double down? Will they go for a similar strategy? The lineup is not suggesting so at the moment. It's suggesting much more of some sort of map clear to an extent, especially with that Jacqueline play.
10 seconds to insertion.
Well, certainly an opportunity has now presented itself for Fnatic.
5 seconds left.
But obviously should sort of just remind people that their chances of getting out of that 4th spot in the group, guys, are still virtually slim to none. -7 round differential, which is not ideal when they would have to require Cyclops to lose the barrel and lose well, because Cyclops are +2 round differential. Fnatic's -7 is really what is hurting them at the moment. So, yeah, losing 7-3, 7-4, not ideal, especially considering others in the group all won games. They've all got other positive round differentials as well. It's very unlikely
bomb diffuser.
But I think you probably forget about that anyway, whether or not you can get out of the group. I think a win here would be still massive for Fnatic, taking that into the last chance qualifiers. Invaluable experience and positivity.
Oh, certainly more conservative in the approach here from the attack. Nowhere near as direct as last time, and in fact, it looks like Trophy is being considered as a point of entry, but Lily posturing up above in a good spot. Needs to be careful. Live droned and a live entry, I think. That's inside bathroom. It is. Both players trading damage. Lily with the pistol in hand, and he hits the shot. Oh, that's a close one. Able to survive, though. Minute 30. An advantage for Fnatic.
Can they make the most of it, though? Lily, low on health. Fine job done now, especially taking out the Jackal. V-Bot, though, loses out to Mawu. Well, things just very slowly now starting to turn to Fnatic's favor late in this first half. And Lily finds another kill on the roam up above. That's Shifty down. That's probably the round. Down to just Salty and Marvi. Fnatic are about to take the lead here against IGZIST. And if they can't get out of the bottom four, what they can do is stop IGZIST getting top spot.
Yep. That's exactly right. Fnatic needed a clean 7-0 victory to be any chance. It's out of the question.
Well, if they win 7-2, it's still kind of game on.
Yes, to an
They
extent.
have to win well here.
Keeps things a little bit more interesting, for sure. They can be disruptors, and I think that's the more likely outcome, right?
Oh, for
IGZIST,
sure.
They're so eager to win this game. In terms of this round, though, it's looking very, very unlikely. Good roam from Lily. And again, discipline from Fnatic, not giving away any sort of picks here late into the round. Boiler will be open with 10 seconds to go. And it's going to be a case of too little too late, you would assume, unless this is an insane entry on the brief.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also just sort of a big sign saying, hey guys, this is where I'm coming from. Boiler opened up. Marvi destroys the barrel, goes for default, plants ulti will watch. It's actually not too bad. Gets off of the hold of the smoke. That's a wonderful headshot though. Expecting more to come. Salty's done really well, actually, now in a 1 versus 2, and Plant has successfully gone down. Surely IGZIST aren't going to steal this round. Lily is very, very low and gets taken out. It was a headshot. Needed just a body shot. Salty, surely! Ruin stays alive. Just barely. Does have an impact. Does have at least a bit of possession known on Salty's position. Gets on it. But the counter defuse. Pros don't fake it. He might just have to fake it. Gets off it. Bit of help from the Go Mine as well. Ruin finally wins the round for Fnatic. Well, that was a lot closer than they would have liked in a 2 versus 4. Fnatic hold on.
Oh, a lot to break down there. Effectively a 1v4 when the plant goes down. Good coverage. And then whittles down to the 1v1. And you said pros don't fake. But to be fair, that was the best play. He would have died if he stuck it. But he steps up, flicks, hits the shot. 1 HP, doesn't matter. Clean there from Ruin. Big round as well from Fnatic. They are the disruptors at the moment. The incentive for them to win this game, nowhere near as high as their opponents.
Attackers need to
But they are giving it a red hot crack.
Yeah, obviously for IGZIST, you win this, you will be in top spot on the group, at least until the Cyclops game against Barrel later tonight. You lose this though, and obviously you cannot get top spot, but at the very least you can't finish in 4th either. So, not a stupendous amount of pressure on IGZIST. It's not necessarily super must win. It certainly would be ideal, and it certainly would not be ideal going into the knockout stage. Fresh off of a loss to Fnatic, a team that has struggled thus far. -7 round differential from their 2 earlier group stage games thus far. Both losses, of course. But I tell you what, they look a lot far better in this game at the moment than their earlier group stage matches. So maybe Cafe was their poison chalice. Maybe getting off of that map has sort of reinvigorated this newly built roster. Just giving them a new lease on life to roam around, because that's where the success has been found, especially from Lily and Mawu.
How much of it is the map, right? We saw them play Cafe. They failed twice. Go to Chalet. A different story. Maybe we should go back in time and take that. Are you ready to admit that maybe you were a little bit off the mark?
Bomb located by attackers.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee,
Well, I think to be fair though,
not every day of the
we
week
didn't
that
have.
you admit that you were wrong, so I will take that as a W.
I think the way that Fnatic have played this map so far, though, to their credit, is the reason why they're finding some success.
Yeah, honestly, like a game like this, you would often say, "Oh, the underdog's actually not doing that great. It's really the team that's in the lead that's throwing." I really don't feel that at the moment. Fnatic have actually played quite well, and you don't lose that pick down below to the Glaz on that basement round. This is a 4-1 lead. Like they're genuinely outclassing their opponents at the moment. It is defense. That dynamic can flip, but generally speaking, Japan is very much even on a lot of maps. So
Yep.
yeah, I think we're in for a good game here. And if it exists, then switch on. They flip it back. It'll be close. It'll be much closer than we would expect and what Fnatic's round differential would indicate heading into this play day. Fnatic dead last. -7 round diff. They've won 7 rounds. They've lost 14. Putting up a good fight here, though. Here on Chalet. Mag down below. He can help support these players inside of Solar, getting bombarded with grenades. And then it's Vivort to find the first.
Well, of course, Mag was droned out. He could take out the drone himself. Dude, look at the pressure, though. Onto Vbort here on the balcony. He takes a beating. So, in the end, not necessarily a free kill onto Mawu. Does get damaged for it. He's still on the rappel outside of Solar. 50 seconds left in this round. Mag feels like the big win factor here. Pushing up. Westmay, it's shifty. Ruin also got a trade, and that's where Fnatic have been really good in this half, guys.
Yep.
Consistently around the map, they are finding these trades. Never at a massive deficit.
Yeah, and their trades have been lacking throughout this stage. So it's a significant improvement. That said, they do still find themselves a player down, but 20 seconds. Time becoming an issue here. 4 exists, 15. A 2v4. Salty has control over towards top Soul. Diffuser in the hands of the Habana, but he falls. Barbie not immediately traded. Number 2 so low. Now isolated, and he is picked up. IGZIST able to equalize the half.
Yeah, just kind of caught on sight. Sight just far too opened up. Actually, I think it would have been better there for Fnatic if they were a little bit off-site. Even playing down below, even allowing the plant potentially going for retake, but you can't really allow plant, bedroom, office, 3-3. I think if you had have said to Fnatic you want a 3-3 half on your defensive Chalet to begin this game, I think they would have taken it. I think they would have been greedy to ask for a 4-2 in their favor. I think 3-3 is also fair. You know, in the rounds that exist of 1-2, they've been largely the better team. That's been the case this game. I think we haven't really seen teams sort of playing bad. We've actually just, again, seen teams playing well. You think about, you know, you said that Glass kill, for example, as if that was like a throw from Fnatic. That was just a really, really well executed
for sure. That's
attack with the operators, right? So, I mean, I think IGZIST, when they've won, they've looked a better team. Fnatic have won, they've too looked really, really good. So, I mean, that's really the Japanese region, though. That's what we've probably come to expect now after the first couple of play days. This is a really, really solid region, very competitive. You got Fnatic that has lost 2 games, taking it right up to IGZIST, who is fighting for a top spot in the group, and it's 3-3 on Chalet. It says it all.
Yeah, it's largely coming down to a lot of like relatively even gunfights around the map where you could back in either player to win it out on their given day and at their given time. Literally, the only caveat to that would be maybe like the Ruin down below basement. Like that was insane, and that shouldn't have happened. The other 5 rounds, and the better team came out on top, and it was a display of skill and the competitiveness of the region. So we'll see if that continues. Again, second half, different dynamic. Things can change a lot in Siege. Defense doesn't translate to attack, vice versa. Bit of momentum can on the best of days, but there's not really any to speak of in this match. Bravo out for the first round of Fnatic's. So we'll see if those Kludge drones can have an impact. I think for taking or for hacking some of those default cameras will be quite powerful. And the catcher in Jaeger, again, there is that dynamic where the Kludge can hack an ADS twice, follow it up quickly with a couple of grenades, and you might be able to find yourself a kill. Now, I don't know if there was an ADS hack towards ping. It's a grenade from number 2, do some damage, but probably would have found the kill if he had his gun up.
Certainly no hack there on the ADS. You can hear it ping it away. Number 2 just
that was
makes
not
the
a
push
Gemini.
in.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
I'm not gonna lie, for a split second I thought that was just gonna be a Gemini, and I wonder if Rayra thought the same thing. That was just a straight push. Solid control now established for Fnatic. Talk about an aggressive entry. Bought, I think, tempted to swing here from Bathroom and has done so successfully. Deals with the Buck. Finds a big kill back. And considering the site that we got here of Kitchen Dining, the Buck is going to be a big loss on the soft bridge.
Just needs to be mindful that he doesn't get greedy in this position, but he does have Marvi alongside to assist the number 2. After that first engagement is now low. Using that castle barricade against the defense just to offer some coverage now inside of bedroom. Would have been vulnerable to a Nitro from Shifty, but that's no longer in play. Lily now looking to pinch. I think Mag optimally could here go to bathroom window, for instance, here, and cause a real bunch of issues for the defense. That won't be the case. They're going to take the shield head on Fnatic. Perhaps not the right call. Mag, though, does eventually trade a 3v2. Diffuser in the hands of Ruin. Outside trophy window. 30 seconds to shape up for this execute. For IGZIST now, it's really about locking down this trophy side of the map.
Again, they're just trading so well, Fnatic. Only something that they've improved on, really, as this game has regressed. Here in Chalet, under 20 seconds remaining, though, and again, it's Lily.
15 seconds to go.
Lily and Mawu definitely leading from the front for Fnatic here in their charge towards causing an upset against IGZIST. Now, that could be a double for Shifty. Thought they both lined up there. Only got Mag. Ruin can go and get the plant down successfully. Where's that Glaz? Lily so successful in that round, and Fnatic put themselves in a position of causing a significant upset here. On the attack of Chalet, they've taken the lead once again, up 4-3. All signs pointing to a Fnatic upset at the moment. It's building.
So you remember that time we did 3 OTs in a row? You starting to sense that a little bit yet, or is it too soon?
Attackers need to locate
I think it's
and defuse
way
the
too
bomb.
soon, mate.
Really?
No,
I'll hold you to that. I'm going to come back to the pod if we end up doing 3 OTs in a row.
look, it's certainly possible here, but I think actually Fnatic's in a better position to win this.
I would agree.
You know, if we kind of had I don't know, like a prediction graphic, like a bar graphic, and it was like a percentage-based one, Fnatic I think would be leading for win, then OT, and then IGZIST winning. At 4-3 attacking on Chalet, they're definitely in the driver's seat here. And for the first time, we're actually going to go to bar games.
10 seconds remaining.
We're ready for company.
And now look at the attacker repick does, and fill me in here because this screams big rush onto
Big rush,
site.
yeah. I mean, Amaru, Ying, Lion, big 3. Track Stingers as well can be laid down for the flank and also create a lot of noise on site, which makes it difficult for the defense. Question will be, where do they approach?
Yeah.
What's the play here for Fnatic? There's a couple of different routes. I'm not exactly
Library
sure
or
where Fnatic
games?
is positioned. So he's outside Snowmobile at the moment. Could look to go up Con Hatch, maybe? I don't know if that's a stretch, but it's possible.
With the shield facing in towards Library, though, expecting not as much aggression over towards the mezzanine. Typically in the past, we would see that shield propped up right next to the chimney,
Oh,
facing towards
okay.
the corridor. This is intriguing.
He's looking to just send it into bar immediately through the door. Candela's up above to nullify this mezzanine position.
Here we go. Straight on in, and bar control has been established. Shifty absolutely getting shredded here over towards bar stock. Now he finds the opening kill. Mag, though, has diffuser. So through bar, kind of got a bit of a world too. It could actually go plant towards the half or default towards big window.
Oh,
if
they're falling.
they would like to. What the hell has happened, though?
Salty has just said, nope, not on my watch. And unfortunately, without that diffuser down, the pressure flips to Fnatic. Salty, an ill-advised drop. Mag, still yet to really tease the plant.
Lily, though.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
Well,
So I was kind of watching Lily at the back there. It was on the rappel when they were all kind of in bar. So Lily never really got to play the game.
well, he's looking to
Couple of
cut.
smokes went out.
He's looking to cut off that rotate down the main hatch, right, which is fine. But
Yeah.
that's not where the damage came from. I think it was bar hatch, right, where there was a lot of damage being rained down. Fnatic didn't really have a response. Mag didn't feel comfortable getting the plant down, understandably so. So IGZIST were able to quickly flip it around. They backed themselves up above on the verb. Hatch is open. Close out that round. Even if they were starved of some information. Again, Solace is on the board, so no, I don't think anyone should be sitting there going, "Why didn't Mag plan?" It would have been very difficult. It would have been tricky.
It's an interesting strat though, right? You kind of try to overwhelm Bar. From there, you clear out the player backstore, and I honestly thought for a second Mag was actually going to make his way all the way around the big window and go for the default plant. Instead, he then double backed over towards Bar. Everyone else is dead. Especially considering Lily was actually on that side, could have easily played the repel big window. And I would have thought this is a genius play. Instead, it looks a little bit silly now that the end result has ended up the way it has. But hey, you know, you tried something, didn't work, but you tried. Can't fault that. And the other thing as well is it's not really the conventional rush strat either. So you've done something a little bit different here. Trying something, didn't work. All right, well, move on to the next round. It's only 4-4.
I think, honestly, I think the setup was not too bad, right? They tried to send it deep. They were well and truly aware, Fnatic. They weren't sitting with their hands in their pockets expecting those players to drop hatches. They were being quite proactive. They had the Ying to counter Mez. They had the Gridlock watching the flank through Library. They just couldn't quite get in that position for the plant. They couldn't find the Solus. If Solus dies in any way there, changes up the round quite a bit. Clearly, Mag would have been much more comfortable looking to get that plant down. Unfortunately, yeah, Fnatic kind of just left to look a little bit stranded on site and unable to find a response and unable to trade. And that's something we've complimented them on a lot in this particular match. Their ability to trade has been far beyond what else we've seen.
Sends Lion, Osa, Ying.
Well,
Take us through this one, Guz.
well, there's no Warden, right? So I'm assuming Fnatic have identified that there is no Warden in play. Now, Warden has been getting picked quite a bit here and there.
5 seconds left.
And you can't really be picking Sense or the Ying into the Warden. You can't be picking Smokes really in general because you obviously weaken your position. Warden can directly counter. So maybe I'm giving Fnatic too much credit, but I think that they have identified no Warden, so let's back themselves in for this plan. Site itself, was it downstairs? I was too busy analyzing the lineup.
No,
Was it
no,
above?
upstairs.
Oh, okay, right. So, I mean, Sense would make a little bit more sense, well, for dining,
Oh,
because we've
jeez.
seen that lineup through the drone hole with the ROUs, but for up above, I don't know. I don't think I've really seen a Sense hit.
Well, you've got the
low
Aussie
level.
here, so Mezzanine's definitely going to be the play looking to open up that office wall and use that Talon shield one way or another. At least it can help you actually get towards half wall, or you can actually kind of just bypass half wall altogether and just go kind of for the plant, the way you would kind of see it maybe on CEO Executive actually on a bank site, for example, guys. So that's what I'm maybe thinking is the play here for Fnatic.
Well, Piano's double reinforced. So I thought maybe they'd use it to cut off the Piano position for a main wall plant, but they're just going to go to the main
is
window.
this? Well, okay.
Are they going to go in?
Remembering Malware, though, over towards Mezzanine is the one that actually has the diffuser. There is that Talon shield, and that is the play exactly that I was basically calling out. But it was not so much actually opening up that office wall. It was more just an entry point straight through the doorway. Yes, you got the plant down. But you've lost a lot of players for it. Although in saying that, 2 versus 3 now. Mawu is kind of pinched in this position.
Tough post, number 2, main
The
window,
repel.
30 seconds. I think this is a Fnatic round. I backed them in to be able to win this. Mao just needs to win the fight on the Talon shield because number 2, he's now rotating. No longer on that double window position, so he's probably going to drop over towards Piano window
Wait.
late.
One diffuses or one swings.
No.
I think Maui expecting that though, and he just swings first. Straight away on that sound contact, but can he swing again if he's being watched from behind? That's going
Number
to be
2.
coming from Rayra. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, well played.
Number 2! Split seconds. He can play time here. He can play for
Over.
time. Oh, what a round for Fnatic. They have completely bamboozled IGZIST.
Wow. What a play there from Fnatic. Using that sense to open up the round. It was pretty chaotic. It was pretty messy, and IGZIST not able to deny. And in the post, still they had pretty good positions, but number 2 with a perfectly timed rotation, a perfectly timed vault, was able to catch the player on Mezzanine off guard, then finds the second defender counter-diffusing the kit just in time, and the second he falls, well, it was less than 7 seconds to go, so it didn't really matter. It was over at that point. Wow. That is a ballsy play from Fnatic, to be completely fair, but it worked out very nicely.
Give them credit. 100%. They've definitely brought a lot of strategy to this game, and a lot of their approaches, probably more so on the attack. I mean, defense, Chalet, you don't really change too much up there anyway. Or don't change too much anywhere, actually. But on the attack, definitely Fnatic have looked, I think, the better of the two in terms of offering something different approaches. Which, to be fair, when it's worked, it's looked really good, really innovative, and really intriguing. Obviously, then when it doesn't work, like sort of the rush into bar, it can then look a little bit silly. But you kind of have to give them always the credit for trying. You can never knock trying, ever. When it works, though, it looks really, really good. And obviously, forcing out the timeout here for IGZIST, they've really got to start to think about how do they counter this, because Fnatic are playing fast. They're not playing time. They're not playing, 15, 20-second plants. They're happy to go early in the mid-round even. So I think, yeah, I do wonder, Capcan, Solus, is this sort of the ploy here? Bring those operators, never mind, switch over to the water. That's probably the right call.
Yep.
And sort of backs up your theory earlier about the fact that Fnatic were catching on to the idea that IGZIST were not bringing the Warden.
Yeah, and I think the Warden pick here isn't to counter this play unless the strategy is for Warden to completely hide. But I mean, he's up above getting hatched, right? So Fnatic are going to see this. All it really does is prevent them for going for that play, which we saw them uncomfortable against last time. Fnatic will need to go a little bit more traditional here. They won't be able to bring the likes of the Saints. They won't be able to bring as many smokes and leans to the players as much, although they might end up sticking it. We'll wait and see. And you made some reference there about knocking or something. I can't remember exactly what you said, but on the topic of knock, we haven't really seen it much, right? And I thought Fnatic would maybe use that as a potential to lurk around, maybe get above control for this particular attack in exchange for the Glads, which will be countered by the Warden, but not to be. And in fact, they're just going to live drone top 4 and go for a take from there.
So Fnatic on the verge of picking up match point. Salty, though, finds a very, very early kill on the Solus. Talk about maybe fighting fire with fire. That's, to me, the idea behind bringing the Solus in the last couple of rounds now for IGZIST, knowing Fnatic are pretty quick on their entries. Try and get that early intel. Try and find a kill early. Up health for Salty. That's fine. Can still just run around gathering information. It's the license to maybe go and find more. Number 2 creeps in over towards office.
Blood shots raining out. Yet to find their mark. Feel a little bit surprised that Fnatic elected to pick it into the Warden. Nonetheless, though, they are getting control slowly up above and gradually taking their grasp here on the map. Still roamers to contend with, however. Rayra on the Legion on site. Also seeing the Oryx of Marvi towards dining/kitchen. Fnatic will need to clear that. A plethora of information, though, still available. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I'm starting to think about the win conditions here for Fnatic. I don't think they've worked much. I was going to say you need to start working behind, but it looks like Mag. But this is risky. Hardbreach are peeking. If Mag dies, it puts a lot of pressure on Ruin. Maybe he's trying to catch someone off guard, but he's watching it very intently.
Now he drops down 5 on site now for IGZIST.
Trying to catch the Oryx, did it?
So Fnatic really wanting to probably just open up this wine position, open up Boiler. Scar is out from Mag. Ruin, diffuser in hand. This is just a stark contrast to what we've seen from Fnatic in the last few rounds. This being a round where it is a little bit more just sort of direct to site. Makes the barrel, opens up default obviously now for Ruin. He can just sit in as Fnatic kind of just get control here of site. I think IGZIST is just going to have to play the retake. Oh, that's a wonderful little shot from Salty. Very quickly on to number 2. They get the intel call out default. 40 seconds now on the clock we go. Salty loses his life to Mag. Traded though immediately. Ruin falls. Mag very, very low. And he can't survive the pistol of Vpor. Lily now in a 1v3 on the glass. Swings, makes contact, loses the fight though. IGZIST bring it back. It's 5-5. Big, big round. Fnatic really couldn't do a whole lot above. They couldn't pressure anywhere else.
Defenders win.
Nothing over towards fireplace stairs, nothing bot library stairs, nothing main breach at the garage wall. I mean, it was a little bit sort of one-dimensional. Opened up Boiler, rushed onto site. Easy retake for IGZIST.
I will say the opening to the round, though, for Fnatic was actually really clean. They identified the Warden, that had a really good drone on site. They immediately nade it, kill him, and that's when you can see the likes of the Habana, for instance, and others then get to work with flashbangs and smokes and push those defenders back. they did a good job. They got the plant down, but yeah, they just got let down there by the retake. I don't think they were able to then fall back to positions that they would have favored quite in time. With Snappy from IGZIST, they do a good job down below. It's got to be a little bit demoralizing for Fnatic again off to such a good start and taking down that Warden. But unfortunately, Siege is a tough game, and Fnatic feeling it after that one, heading into round 11 over towards Dining Kitchen. And oh god, I thought we were going to say reflick onto I was going to say, and then we're going to see Ying, which makes no sense into Warden. But it looks like Fnatic are going to tidy up those reflicks. I am a little bit concerned that they're looking to stick to Glaz. It has had success, so I don't want to deny that, but picking it into Warden, I'm not a huge fan. It's such high risk, and even if they are able to clean up that Warden early, as shown in that last round, it's not necessarily a free win condition because the other members of IGZIST are ready to step up and still get aggressive.
Very crucial round here. I mean, I did say for Fnatic, 7-5 loss would actually be a good result, but now that we're here and it's 5-5, I think they'd be a little bit disappointed with that now. I think they'd be feeling like they can actually just walk away with the win, and deservedly would be right to assume that, right to think that. For IGZIST though, now it's just all about just getting the job done, moving on, getting the 3 very valuable points, puts them in the top spot of the groups, or their respective group, at least until the match later today between Cyclops and Varel. Can Fnatic get reward for effort? Because they've been honestly quite outstanding in this game. A lot better than what we've seen from them in the earlier group stage matches. Far more competitive, far more innovative. Really starting to sort of just flex their wings a little bit here on the attack, especially. Solar Repel at the moment, double, stacked over towards here. To open up this wall towards bedroom. Straight on in, don't even worry about the gas smoke. And finds the opening kill onto Shifty. And talk about a direct approach again from Fnatic, because they are very quick on their attacks. And Ruin is going for the plant.
Yeah, all blue on site. Ray were just forced back. Well, immediately forced back, but there's denial from IGZIST. A little bit too late, so it is a post. A 2 versus 4. Ruin drops down the hatch. That's not where you want to be. And now Mao, a 1 versus 4. Forced to rotate. IGZIST, they could just stick it from here, surely.
Yeah,
inside sight, yeah. 0-4. Wow. IGZIST, they just completely shut that out. It looks so good for Fnatic. Again, flooding sight. All blue. But unfortunately, in the kill feed, it was all orange in the favor of IGZIST.
Yeah, probably a common theme now in the second half, isn't it? A couple of times when Fnatic have kind of lost these rounds, it's because they're just going in so hot and heavy, so fast, so rapid, and ultimately credit to IGZIST though for dealing with it again for multiple times now.
I'm not sure. I don't think I have seen a game with so many successful retakes. It's tricky in Siege. I mean, it's not completely uncommon, but just the frequency of them is insane.
I think in this instance, though, obviously IGZIST still having really good vert pressure up above, which helps in any kind of retake scenario. Fnatic don't have that horizontal direct approach, very fast one. Trying to just obviously catch IGZIST off guard, try and get that plant down, make it half the retake. But, you know, there's a reason why there's a process. There's a reason why you kind of clear above. And yeah, it takes time. It's tedious, but again, there's a reason why you do that.
And I mean, I think the reason they're doing that is because in the last 2 games, we saw them go for those approaches and they stalled out. They were too slow and then they didn't leave enough time for the execute. Yeah. So they're almost taking it to the other extreme, right? Where they're like, stuff it. Let's just go for the least point of resistance. Let's hit it. Let's go hard, fast, get inside, force the plant down, and we'll cross our fingers for the post. But yeah, we've seen it a couple of times. And it's not just them. It's also IGZIST to an extent on a couple of their attacks where, yeah, the retake, the post has just been poor from the attack.
And I think IGZIST obviously catching on really as this second half has progressed. They are very much ready for that kind of rush onto the site. Ready for Fnatic's shenanigans. So 5-6 does this eventuate into a 7-5. Result, you get all 3 points going the way of IGZIST. It would leave Fnatic winless out of the group stage and to the last chance qualifiers and not the knockout stage here of the Japan League. Here over towards West Main. Maui with the skeleton key. The damage onto Reyra, half health on the Jaeger. IGZIST definitely now the ones with far less pressure to close this game out. Fnatic probably have to think about their attack a little bit more here. Put a bit more stock into a bit more of a proper clear clear rather than just sort of a rush onto site.
I mean, the Warden has finally dissuaded them from a smoke and flash-heavy push. I say flash-heavy, I mean, they've got 8. Not even 8, they've got 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm going to say, I was more so making the point that they're not playing Candelas, they're not playing
You want to
Ying.
just retract the whole statement?
They're not playing Ying. That's what's been forced back, but yeah,
I mean they may as well be at this point.
Yeah, I completely butchered that point. So it's interesting how they'll respond, of course. Grenade prep, everyone's solar. Crossmat's in play. Head gets sent to the pillar, but doesn't really find much. And it's these points in time where just Fnatic sometimes they just get stalled out a little bit. They need to find an opening. They need to find a kill. It's tough.
It's not too bad though for Office Bedroom. You're expecting to get stalled out. You're expecting it to take a little bit of time to really get beat into solar. Obviously clear out positions like bathroom, especially with these Kiva barriers being an absolute nuisance. Forces out the Gon 6 from Lily, who's trying to, I think, force out a little bit of a peek there from the window, and it will do so. Report does like to swing that one, and finds the kill. Ruin, though, able to get one onto Rayra. It's trades, though. Not surprising, but now Fnatic with the advantage. Mag on the rappel. Ruin has got the diffuser for Fnatic. Inside of solo now for Maui. Marvi V-Bot. Have they got what it takes to win a 2 versus 3?
Oh.
Marvi gets a big kill onto Maui. So Mag on the rappel. Ruin with diffuser. 30 seconds left here for Fnatic to keep this series alive.
And the Frost is a dangerous player, right? V-Bot, he cannot cross. The double window is being held by Mag, so Ruin, he must win the 1 against the Frost. Otherwise, they don't win the round.
Well, Mag's just going to send it in regardless. He knows he has to help out, has to provide a bit of that cover fire. The cross being watched. Mag with a big kill onto Marvi. Red time. So I think at this point, V-Bot's going to either hide. He goes for the first kill. Now a decision here for Ruin. Do you go for the kill? Do you go for the plant? No time. Doesn't even get to make said decision. IGZIST do win out in the end. 7-5 here. A win. Close one on Chalet. And it certainly was close. Fnatic looking a whole lot better in this one, but unfortunately, guys, looking a lot better doesn't get them the win.
Yes, it doesn't. Highway robbery really there from IGZIST. Fnatic looking good in this game, but ultimately not quite good enough. And IGZIST able to get that final round just across the line. A 7-5 scoreline, so we don't quite scratch that overtime itch, but IGZIST, they pretty much